News as it happened. News as it happened. Across Australia, around the world, with the team that really knows news. Weekdays.
Good evening. The Medical Tribunal.
7 Nightly News with Richard Zachariah and Susie Ellerman.
Good evening. The Medical Tribunal has received.
The promise of a new tax deal as Andrew Peacock goes for the family vote.
The Supreme Court in Hobart coming face to face with survivors and relatives in Hobart coming face to face with survivors and relatives of those killed in the
With Ross Simons and
survivors and relatives of those face to face with survivors and relatives of those. Good evening. We may be hit with a new. Good evening. We may be hit with a new.
Sydney enters the spectacular with a stunning fireworks spectacular.
from the studios of 7 Melbourne, Peter Mitchell.
Reenactment voyages weigh anchor.
Good evening. Tonight, Jeff Kennett has still beat off a bit to depose him.
Reenactment voyages weigh anchor in Botany Bay.
And a close
Reenactment voyages weigh anchor in Botany Bay.
and a close call for a fighter jet pilot.
Reenactment voyages
Leader of the state opposition.
Close call for a fighter jet pilot at Amberley Air Base.
Reenactment voyages weigh anchor. Reenactment voyages weigh anchor in Botany Bay. Reenactment voyages weigh anchor in Botany Bay.
At Amberley Air Base.
Voyages weigh anchor in Botany Bay.
And a close call.
Botany Bay.
And a close call for a fighter jet pilot. At Amberley Air Base. Close call for a fighter jet pilot at Amberley
hostage rescue.
And loyal
patients come to the aid of Jeffrey hostage rescue.
And loyal patients
Victims found at the scene of the new.
Good evening.
Good evening to you too.
And loyal patients come to the aid of Jeffrey Edelston. Patients come to the aid of Jeffrey Edelston.
Victims found at the scene of the New Caledonia hostage rescue.
Anchor in Botany Bay.
And a close call for a fighter jet pilot at Amberley Air Base. And loyal patients come to the aid of Jeffrey Edelston. And loyal patients come to the aid of Jeffrey Edelston.
With Frank Warwick and Simone Simmons.
Good evening.
Good evening to you too, Simone. All victims found at the scene of the New Caledonia hostage rescue.
And loyal patients come to the aid of Jeffrey Edelston.
As a price cut is recommended.
Australian swimmer Richard Upton fined to take a
with
banned
Richard
drive.
Zachariah and Susie Ellerman.
Good evening. The Medical Tribunal has reserved for a month its decision on the future of flamboyant medication.
Recommended.
Good evening.
CDs trashed as a price cut is recommended.
Tonight, paying for peace in new tax to fund our Timor troops.
Recommended.
Good evening. Good evening.
Tax to fund our Timor troops. Tonight, paying for peace, a new tax to fund our Timor troops. Gunmen end their hostage crisis in the Armenian Armenian Parliament.
The promise of a new tax deal as Andrew Peacock goes for the family vote. And a
at 7 with Mark Ferguson.
Killed by a family pet.
Beneath the ice.
7 News at 7 with Mark Ferguson. 7 News at 7 with
Little
Mark
Dion
Ferguson.
killed by a family pet.
Into the 21st century. Good evening, and from 7 News, welcome to the 21st century. Good evening, and from 7 News, welcome to...
Studios of 7 Melbourne. Peter Mitchell with 7 News. Live from the studios of Peter Mitchell with 7 News.
And Kim Watkins. This is 7 Nightly News.
Tonight, Green's outrage at police inaction at the Port Hinchinbrook development site.
The medical tribunal has reserved
From chaos on the Gold Coast.
And an unknown Scotsman wins the Australian PGA.
Tight security and strong emotions as Martin Bryan pleads not guilty. Drama as wild weather hits 3 states, leaving a trail of
across Australia, around the world, with the team that really knows.
With Chris
Crowds packed the harbour city, enjoying a safe New Year's Eve.
Good evening.
Crowds packed the harbour city, enjoying a safe New Year's Eve.
As it happened.
Not guilty on all counts. Martin Bryan appeared in the Supreme Court in Hobart, coming face to face with survivors and relatives of those killed in the massacre.
Good evening. The medical tribunal has
7 Nightly News with Richard Zachariah and Susie Ellerman.
Good evening. The medical tribunal has
The promise of a new tax deal as Andrew Peacock goes for the family vote.
Supreme Court in Hobart, coming face to face with survivors and relatives.
swimmer Richard Upton
Coming face to face with survivors and relatives of those killed.
Simons and
Survivors and relatives of those face to face with survivors and relatives of
Nightly
those.
News.
Good evening, we may be hit with a new... Sydney enters the spectacular with a stunning fireworks spectacular.
From the studios of 7 Melbourne, Peter Mitchell.
hostage crisis in the Armenian houses. And taking the spirit of Australia's top 10 cars.
This is 7 Nightly News.
To depose him at today's
Fleet reenactment voyages weigh anchor.
Good evening. Tonight, Jeff Kennedy is still beat off a bid to depose him.
Voyages weigh anchor in Botany Bay. Fleet reenactment voyages weigh anchor in Botany Bay.
And a close call for a fighter jet pilot.
Fleet reenactment voyages
Close call for a fighter jet pilot at Amberley Air Base.
Today's
reenactment voyages way
to depose him.
And celebrations around
reenactment voyages way anchor in Botany Bay. Reenactment voyages way anchor in Botany
Bay. Air Base.
Voyages way anchor in Botany Bay.
And a close And a close call for a fighter jet. And a close call for a fighter jet pilot for a fighter jet pilot at Amberley Airport. Close call for a fighter jet pilot
New
at
Caledonia
Amberley
hostage
Airbase.
rescue.
And loyal patients come to the aid
New
of Jeffrey
Caledonia
Edelston.
hostage rescue.
And loyal patients come.
More victims found at the scene of the New Caledonia.
Good evening.
Good evening to you too.
And loyal patients come to the aid of Jeffrey Edelston. Patients come to the aid of Jeffrey Edelston. Come to the aid of Jeffrey Edelston.
Victims found at the scene of the New Caledonia hostage rescue.
Jeffrey Edelston. And loyal patients come to the aid of Jeffrey Edelston. And loyal patients come to the aid of Jeffrey Edelston.
Good evening. Embraces the Muslim community are recommitting the coalition in cutting the carbon tax. Suspected people smugglers arrested.
The promise of
NCD's trash as a price cut is recommended.
Australian swimmer Richard Upton fined for taking a banned drug.
Price cut is recommended.